All right, with Alderman Fleming having joined us, hi Cicely, we now have a quorum, and I'd like to move that we suspend the rules allowing for remote participation due to an executive order issued by Governor J.B. Pritzker and an ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Staff recommends the suspension of the rules regarding in-person attendance requirements for public meetings, allowing for city council members and city staff to participate in this meeting remotely. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, and Dave, I think we need a roll call on that.
Alderman Rainey,
Aye.
Alderman Fleming,
Aye.
Alderman Braithwaite, Alderman Simmons, Alderman Sufferton.
Aye. So the motion to suspend the rules allowing for remote participation passes on a 3-0 vote. Coming up next, we have approval of the minutes of the regular administration and public works committee meeting of February 8th, 2021. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Seeing none, Dave, please take it away.
Alderman Rainey,
Aye.
Alderman Fleming,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton.
Aye. So with that, item M1, the approval of the minutes of the regular administration and public works committee meeting February 8th, 2021 passes. Our next item is public comment. Dave, is there anybody signed up for public comment?
No, I do not believe so.
All right. So with nobody signed up for public comment, we'll move now to the consent calendar. All the agenda items are on the consent calendar. If members want to take a look and pull off items, I'd like to pull items A9 and A10, please.
And also, I had some bills list questions, and I did not receive bills list answers via email today. So I can ask them again, or if staff can let us know if they're coming. So I can pull up A1, I suppose.
Okay, A1 is off.
An email was sent out today.
Okay.
I didn't get it. I didn't see it either. Because I had the same question as you did, Cicely.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get it, Dave.
I didn't see it.
I can share the email. This is Hitesh. Yeah. I can share the email with the city council about the bills list question, Alderman Fleming and Alderman Rainey.
Okay.
Okay, let me do that.
Well, maybe we can do that one last or something. I'd like to look at it.
Pull A1 and we'll move it last. Alderman Rainey, do you have anything that you want to pull off the consent calendar?
What, you want me to do what?
Oh, so everything's on consent in this
Yeah, I'm
meeting?
fine. I'm fine. I
You're
just
fine?
want to know the answer to the question.
Understood. All right, so
And then, Tom, which one did you pull off again? I'm
I
sorry.
pulled A9, which I think is of interest to you, and then A10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else.
But if there's nobody else, I see Alderman Braithwaite's name if he has anything that he wants to pull before.
You know what, I just wanted to, Alderman Sufferton, I just wanted to hear a little bit about I think there's an intergovernmental agreement with sharing of staff.
Oh, this is for snow emergencies with Winnetka?
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear a little overview on that before voting. I
Okay,
didn't
so
see this
why don't we
year.
take item A5 off as well?
Okay, should I move the consent agenda?
Yes, please.
Yes, I will move the consent agenda.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
This is the consent agenda with the exception of items A1, A5, A9, and A10. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Stoneback, please take it away.
Alderman Rainey,
Aye.
Alderman Fleming,
Aye.
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton.
Aye. So on a 4-0 vote, the consent agenda with the exception of items A1, A5, A9, and A10 is passed. We'll go in numerical order. I move approval of item A5, resolution 28R21, authorizing the city manager to execute a rider to the intergovernmental agreement for provision of snow removal personnel to respond to snow emergencies during the COVID-19 emergency to add the village of Winnetka. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Alderman Braithwaite, you have question, or you just want an overview?
Just a quick overview, that's all.
Okay.
Good evening, Chair, members of the committee. Dave Stomack, Public Works Director. In December, City Council adopted a resolution that would allow different municipalities to share employees and equipment in the event that their employees were out due to COVID and that there was a snow event in which they were unable to manage that event with their own staff. Winnetka did not initially participate in that intergovernmental agreement, and so they are now asking to be part of that agreement. And it was the way to make them part of that agreement is to have a rider to the original agreement. Fortunately, no municipalities have called and made a request for assistance, so none of this has actually been activated to this point in time.
Thank you, Dave.
Are there any further questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, I think we can take a roll.
Alderman Rainey,
Aye.
Alderman Fleming,
Aye.
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton.
Aye. All right, so on a 4-0 vote, item A5 passes. I move item A9, which is resolution 29R21, approval of a service contract with the University of Illinois in Chicago for staff racial equity policy program development training. Staff recommends City Council adoption of resolution 29R21, authorizing the city manager to execute a service agreement with the University of Illinois system for the services of Dr. Kathleen Yang Clayton to train and develop staff on the racial equity, diversity, and inclusion committee staff to implement programs policies with a racial equity lens in the amount of $50,000. Funding for this project is from the city manager's office service agreements account, which has a fiscal year budget of $106,000. This is for action. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Alderman Fleming, do you have any questions?
Well, yeah. I guess I know this is going to be, Kim, I think SP2 or something for later. So I have some questions just about the plan that's in the packet for later. I guess, I don't totally oppose this. I mean, it's a huge amount of money. I think the work has already started somewhat. I think your committee's already kind of pulled together, so I have some questions about that. One question I have, which is just reading the contract, is the contract is with the university, which she works for. So she is not working as an independent consultant. She is working as so is this a service that the university is now offering? I know she worked with Cook County Forest Preserve as well.
Yes, good evening, Chair and members of the committee. This is through Greater Cities, which is the institute that she's working through as the fellow. And so they do contracts with other jurisdictions throughout, Illinois. So I can't speak to what that is, but I know they've done work with the city of Chicago as well as with Cook County.
Okay, so it's Great Cities. Okay, yeah, I guess it's a little bit flip-flop for me. I would have loved to kind of talk through more what she's doing before we pay her to do it. Does that make sense? I mean, just to have more context. I know it's coming up later.
Right, well, it's in the packet as well. I provided a detailed itinerary for the year so everyone can see what the month-to-month work plan is for the year. And so that will.
Oh, no, yeah, isn't it, aren't you doing it at special order of business? Aren't you presenting that?
Not the work order, just the overall update around equity. So if you have questions to that, we can discuss it right now. Unless you
okay, so let me get to that page then, if you want to go on.
No problem.
Alderman Sufferton, did you have a question, or were you just pulling this off?
As pulling it, it's your.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Kim. I thought we were.
To fill the time.
No. I thought we were discussing it at SP2, so I was confused.
Well, we can bring it back up at that time if you want to.
Can I fill in some time?
Sure.
Yeah.
Kimberly, is ready a copyrighted work plan? Because I know that at Ridgeville they're doing a program called the Ready program, or is that just a common
Just a common name. You see
Okay,
that throughout
right.
the United States.
It's okay. I didn't know if it was something that you had to like pay for the copyrighted use of. So, no. Okay.
It may eventually be copyrighted with the amount of people utilizing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so that's a couple questions I have, and then I won't ask them later. Is the this plan that she laid out, and maybe it's longer, but is it very similar to what she did with the social service analysis?
It is actually expanded upon. And social services was very narrow, so it was much more. It was done within a 6-week time frame. This is, of course, much longer and is more detailed. So, if I would use the analogy of that, the social service almost was a pilot of how this can work, but this is a much more expanded process. So to give staff time to learn as well as to do some of these pilots within the group before executing it citywide.
And then were the staff chosen by you? Did they volunteer? Like, what's the mix of staff in terms
Sure.
of levels in the
So
organization?
some staff recruited them asked to participate, and that was great. And we definitely wanted those individuals. Others were recruited, working with the departments, trying to identify staff who would have the time to commit to this work, but also where they sit in the organization. So having supervisors who are over staff is helpful, especially union staff, because that is a big population in our organization. And then those who have policy implications as well as budgetary. So it's a mix of staff. There are no department heads in this committee. There is on the diversity and inclusion committee. But this was really trying to gear towards middle management staff and those who have policy creation responsibilities.
Okay, and then aside from the outcome of the work with the social services, was there any like evaluation done with the staff who participated in that, just to see what their feedback was of Kathleen, since she was the same facilitator?
Yes, it was actually the staff who asked for her to come back. It was a conversation that I had with them on an individual level, that to get their feedback about how she did as a facilitator and trainer, and also did they feel that they were able to understand this work with her guidance. And so it was really a collaboration with staff feedback, and then also with just the ongoing work that she's been doing with Cook County Forest Preserve, that was able to see, and me communicating with that staff over there, Tracy Bishop, to find out more about her long-term training skills with staff over there.
Okay, so I have a couple referrals I'll make later. I would like for us, or I can just make them now if it's appropriate, I guess. I spoke to Paulina about the creation of the language access guidelines as outlined here. So I would like for us to have that back in Human Services. I think it was about 2 years ago that some citizens came and advocated for that. So I think it's important to be public about what that is. And then part of, I think, what you did last time, you have listed here as resident focused intake and community engagement strategy. So I will be able to see what that is, and if we've developed something new around there that we should speak about in public. So if we can have those two things at Human Services. And then the last part, which doesn't have to do with this contract per se, but to hear more about the YMCA's coming in to training city employees. So before that happens, it would be great if we could have an overview of that before that's made as a commitment. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I appreciate that we're, finally kind of moving in a certain direction. I have observed some work that happened at the Forest Reserve, and I have a little bit of concern, but not enough to hold this up. But I would like some updates, either to Human Services or however you want to present it as this goes along, so we're not just getting an update at the end of the year.
So I guess that would be some clarity from the City Council later this afternoon, because we've been having updates regularly at the Equity and Empowerment Commission. And, especially around community engagement, we just had a lengthy conversation about that last Thursday, as well as language
we
access.
don't really hear from them. I mean, I can't remember the last time they came to Human Services. So whether it's from you or from Equity and Empowerment, I think that we should hear more.
Sure. So my question to you all is that, would you like us to, what I can do is a dual process where I can still, update them as well as human services as well. I mean, that's not a problem for staff.
However you all want to do it, I don't go
Okay.
to equity and empowerment, so I think we have this as one of city council goals. And so we should be hearing about what's happening within the building so that, we can communicate it to citizens who are interested and we can also give some input.
Thank you.
All right, does anybody else have any questions or comments? If not, I think we are ready to vote on item A9.
Alderman Rainey,
Aye.
Alderman Fleming,
Aye.
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton.
Aye. All right, so with that, on a 4-0 vote, item A9 passes. I think Hitesh sent the email. We can circle back to item A1, which is the bills list. If everyone is all right with that and has had time to take a look at the response provided, I'll go ahead and move item A1, which is approval of the City of Evanston payroll and bills list. Staff recommends City Council approval of the City of Evanston payroll for the period of January 18th, 2021 through January 31st, 2021 in the amount of $3,121,175.49, and the bills list for February 23, 2021 in the amount of $2,602,174.22. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion?
I do have just one quick question. I saw the email. Did these two businesses get the same, did they apply for like the same grant and they got the same grant? They just happen to be brothers and have the same name? Is Paul on here or someone who can answer that question?
I do not see Paul on right now, but let me get him to get an answer to you.
Okay, thank you. I would have asked earlier, but we didn't have the.
Yeah, I'm happy to, we've got 12 minutes before the scheduled start time of planning development, so I'm happy to stand at ease for a little while and make sure that you get an answer before we vote on this.
Well, Alderman Rainey, was the answer sufficient for you?
Well, I still don't I don't have the email. I mean, I haven't looked in
Oh,
my email box. But I do recall that, without the email, that one brother is on Howard Street
Yeah,
and
one on Dodge.
is on Dodge, yeah. And, yeah, I mean, everything on the application was written on the same computer. And, I mean, but they are applying for separate things.
but they applied for the same grant,
Yeah, they applied for the
amount of
same.
money. Okay. All right. Well, then don't worry about it, Kimberly. That's fine. It just was a little bit of an odd.
I know, it
okay.
was very odd. We discussed it. It was very odd.
Paulina's coming on. She's coming on right now.
Okay. I think
Okay.
that was the economic development meeting I came to for Mr. Halliburton, but I came at the end.
Paulina, if you could.
Talking about the same people.
Paulina, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Paulina, welcome.
Hi, I had a bills list question about wireless. Let's see, wireless.
Master Wireless Dodge and Master Wireless Howard, ma'am?
Yes, it was
Yes.
confusing. I was trying to make sure it was different companies.
Yes, they are two different companies. They happen to be owned by two brothers, but they are two different entities. So they are considered different businesses. They just happen to be named similarly and owned by two brothers, but they operate two different entities.
Okay, which qualifies them for two different grants.
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right. Well, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if there are no further questions, I think we're good to do a roll call.
Alderman Rainey,
Aye.
Alderman Fleming,
Hi.
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton.
Aye. So with that, the bills list passes on a 4-0 vote. Next up is items for consideration. Are there any of those?
We're not going to do A10?
A10, Dave, you want that to just be pulled off and not discussed, correct?
Yes, staff will
Oh, okay.
be bringing that back in 2 weeks.
Oh, I didn't get that. Okay, sorry.
All right, so that doesn't count as an item for consideration. Is there anybody else? Or if not, we can move on to items for discussion. Seeing none, we can talk about items for communication. None of those either, which brings us to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? All right. Dave?
Alderman Rainey,
Aye.
Alderman Fleming,
Aye.
Alderman Braithwaite,
Aye.
Alderman Sufferton.
Aye. With that, on a 4-0 vote, we have agreed to adjourn the Administration Public Works Committee. The Planning Development Committee is scheduled to start 5 p.m. Thanks, everybody. Paulina, thank you.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.